Beam City Sports back at you again here in Sacramento, California. Tyler Texeira, Luke Mitchell, and Alec Dennett coming to you on 96.5 FM. How we feeling, boys?
Feeling good, feeling good. It was a beautiful night last night with that beam in the sky. Feeling good tonight. Hopefully we can keep that going. How are we doing, Alec?
Great. Another week, another episode. You know it. Just want to say it is my 1 month being on this show. So, I appreciate you guys letting me be a part of Beam City Sports.
Of course, yeah. No,
I feel
it's awesome to have another voice on here and have another just like kind of vent to bring it on. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I love it. I feel like it's taken the show to a new level. We're reaching new heights with our subscriber count, with our follower count. We're starting new Instagram, TikTok. So if you're not subscribed on YouTube, go do that now. Also follow us on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah,
posting every day pretty much. So
a lot of new ideas too down the road with this new season, and then just more exciting like mini games and stuff at the end. Those are always pretty tight.
Yeah, love it. Let's get into today though. We got the Kings. We're going over the games of the week. It's been very up and down for our Sacramento Kings.
Oh, yeah.
Also going to be reviewing the NBA Cup. The top 8 teams are set for the NBA Cup, so we will see that next week. And then the final part of the show is buying stock in NBA Contenders. Let's jump into it, though. Starting out hot, as we always do. Mitchell's Man of the Week.
We are going to stay hot down in Orlando still. I love staying in Orlando. This is my second favorite team. And then my boy Franz Wagner. I've talked about him before. I'm going to keep talking about him. He's been stepping up a lot, keeping this Orlando team afloat right now. 3rd seed in the East, which is, a very shaky conference right now. But he's averaging 23 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals over the last week. And then Paolo Banchero's coming back soon. So who knows what's going to happen? Like, people can't really be double-teaming him anymore because Paolo's going to be back. He's going to be, I think his points are going to go up before they go down this season.
Yeah.
And then also, he can handle the floor like with the ball the whole time. He doesn't have to pass. Like when he's running up the court, he's not a super fast like crasher, but he has that kind of like slow-mo technique, like slow-mo Anderson, where people are just like, oh, I can't like jab in yet. He's just going to raise his arms up and he gets to the line. And then he throws the ball up so high off the backboard that it's just like unblockable. Yeah. And then the chemistry with his brother, it's real. Yep. The brother chemistry, that's a real thing. Like I'm speaking from my past experience and then watching on the court, that chemistry is real.
Just the other night, I think the Wagners combined for like 50.
Yep.
I think Franz had 30, but
unfortunate in the loss.
But he's been looking great. Honestly, he's looked like an all-star without Banchero. Even with Banchero, he's still been, doing at least 20 because both of them were getting in the 20s. But I'm interested to see, what Banchero would look like with this version of Franz coming back. I'm sure it's really not going to change anything too much. Maybe just a couple less touches, but he's been playing really great. And like you said, that Magic team are looking really good. And honestly, like you said, the conference is kind of shaky, but we're starting to kind of see the teams in the East separate from the worst teams.
Exactly.
Yeah. And before their tough loss last night to the Knicks, they got blown out in the final game of the NBA Cup. They were 12 of their last 13 games they won, and that was all without Paolo, who's known as their best player. Yep. I think Franz really took a jump this summer playing in the Olympics on Germany, leading that one of the best teams in the Olympics besides USA as the best guy and, the number one option. And it's really showed to, like, with Paolo being out, he's comfortable being that number one option. So it's been big for him this year.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that. And, I see myself rocking a Magic jersey pretty soon. Yeah. I'll probably wear one on the show at some point.
I love the Magic, as well. Well, let's jump into Ty's Take of the Week. Another week with a hot take. This one, we're staying in Sacramento once again. My take of the week is that the Kings need to sign Isaac Jones to a guaranteed deal and play him minutes every night. And that's real minutes, not just spotty minutes. We need to play him 20 minutes a night. He's bringing energy to this team that I did not think was capable besides Malik Monk, and it's making Monk comfortable in the starting lineup because we can bring Isaac Jones off the bench and provide that energy that we really need. And his story is just crazy. I'm going to go over it really quick. He was cut from his 8th grade basketball team. Then he had no college offers going out of high school. Out of high school, he starts working on a loading dock and then got tried out for a JUCO team in Washington, made the team, transferred to Idaho. Then he transferred to Washington State. Didn't even have an NBA spot after that. He earned a spot after performing well at a G League elite camp, then got invited to the NBA Combine. Then he signed a 2-way contract with the Kings this year to allow him to play 50 games with the team and most of the time in Stockton. So I think we need to sign him to a real deal as soon as we can. And
I think that that whole story shows he deserves where he's at right now.
Yeah.
He deserves 100% more minutes. He's only getting like 13, I think,
Yeah.
right now, maybe 14. But no, yeah, I highly agree with that. He's coming off. I think he should come off 6th man, maybe like 7th man right there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Malik's starting now pretty much. He's been starting the past 2 games.
Yeah.
I highly agree with this. Isaac Jones is one of my new favorite players here in SAC for sure.
Well, the thing about Isaac is, honestly, he kind of is like a surprise in the lineup, mainly because of, what happened to Trey Lyles and his injury. And on top of that, Herter's out a couple games.
Yeah.
DeRozan was out and Sabonis was out for like that short, the 2 games or whatever it was. But yeah, I mean, for him, just the spark that he's brought off the bench is definitely what you want to see. And, the time that I've been on here, I've been saying they need a bench. And so with Malik going into the starting lineup, having him off the bench and, the spark that he brings, and, even like, Mark Jones and KD Christensen are saying like, oh, like he's kind of a surprising athlete because he's not really like super big as a big man.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just has a great bounce on him, great athleticism. And, he's a good lob threat, gets the crowd going.
Yep.
He's able to block shots, which we saw last night.
Yep.
He got a nice block on Steven Adams.
Yeah.
Even he was surprised. And so, yeah, he brings a great spark off the bench. And, yeah, I definitely do think he deserves a contract. At least something small, maybe like a 1-year deal just to keep him on the team and then maybe something bigger.
I want to lock him up
I
for
do
at least
too.
2 or 3 years.
I say sign him to 4 years while
4
it's
years,
cheap. While
yeah.
it's cheap,
That too.
he's going to be wanting at least some money because that 2-way contract is not as big as we probably think it is.
Nah.
But we will have to release someone if we want to sign him. Since we signed Jay Crowder, we don't have another spot to sign an official roster spot.
That is
so
true.
Probably have to release someone like Doug McDermott, who hasn't been playing well or playing at all the last couple
hasn't been
games.
playing.
McLaughlin.
I don't think they would
I don't
release
think-
McLaughlin.
no.
Really? I
He's
think Doug is
He comes in and like McLaughlin has a perfect like kind of a balance of those minutes coming off the bench to give De'Aaron a rest or Monk a rest.
we didn't
or
even see
anything like
Keon
that.
last game.
exactly.
even
Yeah,
play.
that's crazy.
I'm not surprised by it. I mean, it's like I feel like Mike Brown is trying to find a new rotation, something where he can like get some sort of a consistent like shot. Like I mean, last night, Keegan and Kevin both hit 3 threes, which is something that they've both been missing all the time.
Need that more.
Need that.
Yeah.
And Keon has been hitting threes, but it's not the consistent amount that Keegan and Kevin hit, like when they are hot. So I feel like Mike Brown is trying to find this consistent. He's trying to get these boys going because he knows they can do it. He knows they can hit the threes. They just got to get back in their groove. It's still early in the season. We have to remember that. 20 games in the season right now, I think. 20 games.
Yeah, around there.
So, like, I mean, it is a little worrisome that we're still cold, but it's not too late. It's not too late.
Yeah. I kind of disagree with the Keon, like it not being a problem that he didn't play last night. I think he's performed very well when he, like every game he's played. Like he had that 33-point night. You were at the game. He had 9 threes in a game, and he plays great defense. But, I mean, we won last night. I can't complain. I still am not happy with the rotation last night because Keon is someone who deserves minutes, and I just don't understand the philosophy of not playing him at all because even the game before against the Spurs when they lost, he was one of the only guys hitting shots. It's like
I like the bounce back, but we haven't really won when he's been doing that good.
You have to switch it up.
He had like every game that he's gone over 15 to 20 points.
Yeah.
We haven't won any of those games from Keon.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Brown, like you said, he was just trying to switch it up, trying to find something different. And I noticed, like, especially down the stretch, he shortened his rotation.
Yeah.
Kind of kept those starters in. And, Herter was in late and then just kind of, switched. De'Aaron's out 1 minute, put him back in. Monk's out 1 minute, put him back in, just kind of gave him a short breather.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was honestly kind of a little surprised to see Keon not play. I mean, you would think because I think weren't they down at one point in the first half? And
first half wasn't pretty.
We aren't a first half basketball team either.
Never.
Like we're never first half. Even if we are up in the second quarter, we'll still lose. We'll figure out a way to lose that lead by the end of the second quarter.
Exactly.
go ahead.
Well, back to Isaac Jones. Last night in the post-game interview, he said that all he wants to do when he goes out there is outwork anyone.
Oh, yeah.
That's all he wants to do. And you can really tell.
That's all he's been doing.
Yeah, every time he's out there, it's like he's fighting for his spot in the NBA, and that's something that the Kings really need right now.
Yeah.
Is that energy, that fight, that toughness, that grit. And like you said, Alec, he performed very well last night, getting that surprise block on Steven Adams and, being a lob threat. The only thing about his game is if he can develop a shot at all, any sort of mid-range or three-point shot, it's going to up his game like extreme amount because right now they're just not guarding him at all on the three-point line. And playing him with Sabonis or DeMar on the floor really messes up our spacing a lot.
Yeah.
And we're not a good three-point shooting team this year. So
No.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's why I'm very hopeful with last night's performance from Kevin and Keegan. So hopefully they stay hot, keep going. Keon's already hot. We already know Keon can score the bucket. Maybe Mike Brown is trying something to get these other boys going so then Keon can still come in later and have an effect as well as these other guys.
Yeah, I also was going to say, I don't think Mike Brown went into the game last night thinking Keon's going to play 0 minutes. I think that's just how the game kind of went. He didn't find a spot for him to throw him in there, and Kevin was hitting some shots. If Kevin wasn't hitting any shots last night and he was 0 for 5, I'm sure we would have seen Keon out
Most
there.
definitely.
But I am still very surprised that, a guy like Keon who's played so well, one of the only guys hitting some shots and playing good defense is the guy that's not playing any minutes, and we end up winning.
Yeah.
So
Well, one thing before we continue, I mean, we'll probably talk about it just in a second, but looking at the numbers from last night too, not everyone, but of the like 7 main rotation guys that they put in, everyone scored
double figures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, as a fan, that's kind of what you want to see from everybody is at least everyone scoring. Only 2 guys off the bench really scored, but they combined for 25 bench points when during the course of the year that's kind of their average when they have been playing like 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah.
So honestly, that's not even bad.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah. I like that.
It definitely does affect. I mean, I'm also surprised because Kevin Herter came back quick after that ankle injury.
I was surprised to see him back last night.
I got
too.
a notification. It was just like, Herter back after he misses 1 game. I'm like, oh, I heard he was going to be out like 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
But he came back, and he came back hot. Like, it was definitely good to see.
Yeah, and it was a great win last night. I hope this turns around our season. This needs to be a marking point in the season that, turns our season around because it's getting late. It's getting late to keep losing these games to the Spurs and all these other games like that you should be winning, and you're up 17 against the Spurs, and then you end up losing. We can't have those games anymore. We're under 500. 12th in the West right now, so
it's a close West.
It's a close West. We need to pile these wins on them.
Yeah.
We got a tough schedule coming up. Going to Memphis next game. Need that win.
Oh, we need every win in the next. We need to go on at least. 7 for 3 the next 10. That's what we need. We need to be back up in the 5th seed. Like pretty soon.
Yeah, that win last night. Honestly, it was definitely a really great win. And if they lost, it was going to be one of those games where.
We need to change something within.
Exactly.
Like something had to change if we lost last night.
It really started, towards the last couple minutes in the second quarter, when Dylan Brooks was chirping, and always starts with Dylan Brooks.
Always.
But yeah, it was a really great win. De'Aaron said in the interview last night, the Rockets are physical. They matched their physicality, and they just said, you know what, we're finally gonna fight back, and kind of showed throughout the whole game.
Finally,
yeah. Last week I said the Kings. I feel like they were one of the softest teams.
Yeah.
And this game showed me that they're not. And Jay Crowder might, even though he didn't score any points, he still played some minutes. Maybe he's adding some toughness to this team. But it starts up top. It starts with De'Aaron, and having Malik back, it also starts with him. Sabonis also played very good last night. He was super aggressive. Showed that he's still a top 5 center in the league. And people were doubting him, saying trade Sabonis. He's not aggressive anymore. You guys said he doesn't have a right hand, which, you're not wrong, but still, he's a top 5 center in the league, and the hate on Sabonis is getting out of hand.
No, he is I'm not saying a top 3 center. I said it at the beginning of the year. I'm pretty sure.
I think I'm putting Wemby above Sabonis at this point.
I'm still not going to put Joel Embiid above.
Oh,
Sabonis.
That's
Joel's soft right now.
That's a good
Joel
point.
is
he
a
also
soft
hasn't
person.
even played.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's his choice, though.
Yeah.
Like he's preferring not to play.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna drop him down to the 5th best center in the league because of that.
I can validate that. Like that's a
Sabonis has played pretty much. He's played every game that he can.
Yeah.
But it's not like Wemby. I'm putting 1 or 2 right now.
Yeah.
Him, Jokic, and Sabonis. I think are the top 3 centers in the league.
valid list.
I like that. But a win against the Rockets is so big for this Kings team
A
because
hot Rockets
they're
team.
second in the West right now, and they're so young and fast and athletic, and they play tough, like we said. They've been beating almost everyone that they play, and the only team above them in the West is the Thunder, and they beat the Thunder the other night.
Yep.
And so the Kings come out and they beat the Rockets, but that's the thing about this Kings team. They can beat anyone, and they can also lose to anyone.
They
so
beat the Timberwolves
Yeah.
away, and then they go and
Lose.
lose to the Trailblazers
Yeah.
right after that.
it just doesn't make sense, and that's what we said. They need to start piling on these wins, get some momentum, get some rhythm in their offense, and keep playing hard on defense. That's all you can ask. But last night in the first half, before all those technicals happened, I did see a lot of things on the defensive end I was upset with. Guys like Amen Thompson, they're jumping at Amen Thompson's pump fake when he hasn't. I don't even
hasn't
think he's
shot
hit
at
a
all.
three all year.
Yeah.
And then they leave a guy like Jabari Smith wide open on the next play, not jumping at him, and he hits a three.
They crash a
Just-
lot. They
yeah.
crash way too much. I mean, they don't crash enough
They
on
help.
the offensive boards. They don't crash.
Yeah.
I see they're all waiting for the shot to go down, but then on the defensive boards, like they're trying to double team with someone, and then there's three people wide open right on the outside. It's a quick pass, and then they just swing it, and everybody's running around getting gassed.
Yeah, one thing in terms of like that Rockets team, because guys like Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, and then they have Sengun and even Steven Adams that are all like down low trying to get those rebounds. Is if the Kings aren't boxing out, and let's say they do get one of those rebounds, then they have to be quick to at least get back on one of those kickouts.
Yep.
And when you're getting old boards and you're not crashing the paint, or if you're just watching and the Rockets are getting those boards, kicking it out,
Yeah.
and then you're not contesting, then that's where you're going to see those problems because like you said, guys like Amen Thompson, he's a great young guy. He just doesn't
Love
really,
his game.
just
Love his
doesn't
game.
really have a jump shot yet.
But that's why I was saying, they're jumping on his pump fake and then leaving Jabari Smith open. It's just like, is that coaching at this point? And after that Spurs game, we can jump into that right now. Wasn't feeling too hot about my take last week saying that Mike Brown is not the problem, because that game made me think Mike Brown is 100% the problem. The Kings, so we'll move on. On Sunday, the Kings played the Spurs at home, lost this one 127-125. DeMar DeRozan was back. He had 28 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, so great game from him. Keegan struggled. The real story of this one, the Kings are up early, was switching on Victor Wembanyama, switching a guard like De'Aaron Fox onto Vic, and then forcing a double team, leaving somebody like Chris Paul wide open for 3, and that was the game right there.
Yeah.
So bad.
That's on Mike Brown. How are
Yeah.
you switching on Wembanyama? It just doesn't make any sense.
That and especially down in like the fourth quarter when
Yeah.
it mattered. Spurs, shout out the interim coach who's in place for Pop. But that was his game plan. Like,
Yeah.
hey, let's get these guards to switch on Wemby. If they don't bring help, Wemby attack it, and that's what happened. And then like you said, if they finally start to double, because they were switching the whole time, they weren't saying, hey, go over, go under, Sabonis stay with Wemby or
Just
whoever's
switch
guarding him. Yeah. So they're switching it the whole time. And then, like you said, if they finally double, Wemby's obviously tall enough.
They have to double.
Yeah.
De'Aaron's on him.
Any other-
De'Aaron's strong. He's probably stronger than Wemby right now. And
Probably.
he was doing his best to keep him out of the paint, but
He's probably heavier than him.
he's
just
still
like,
a foot taller
yeah.
than him. So
When
it's
you
like,
have that height,
yeah.
it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
And then
just
Vic's passing that
Yeah.
night was insane.
he had a
Just like-
triple-double.
Yeah, triple
34,
double.
14,
But
and
just
11.
like,
Also
it's-
5 of 9 from 3.
He's throwing passes from 7 feet high.
Yeah.
And it's just like a quick, you see his quick like wrist flick. It's like, oh, what? That doesn't make any sense. He
Yeah.
can fling it all the way across the court. Nobody can touch it at all. So like he's getting these wide open passes that they're wide open on the other side of the court. And they were lighting up from threes against us.
Of course. Every single team the Kings play lights us up from 3.
So I actually got this, I got some stats down.
I like that.
The regular season stats for all the teams that we've played
Yeah.
and their 3-point, and then against the Kings, I have their 3-point percentage.
Okay.
In that Spurs game that we lost, their regular season percentage is 35%. They shot 50% from 3 for us. When we played the Thunder not too long ago and we lost, they shot 45% against us. They shoot 34% in the regular season. Nets game where we lost, they shot 48% against us. They shoot 38% in regular season. Hawks, 42% against us, 34% regular season. Jazz, 46% against us, 34% regular season. We did win that, but only by 3. And then
It's getting out of hand. Yeah.
Spurs, again, 10% more. Clippers, 10% more.
Yeah.
They shoot 10% better than us in any other game. Shout out to my boy Nathan for pulling that.
I saw that comment. Yeah, shout out. Keep commenting on the post, please. We need it. But also, the Spurs have only had 2 games this year hitting 20 or more threes, both against the
us.
Sacramento Kings. And, of course, we play them in a back-to-back on Friday. Right after going to Memphis, we go to San Antonio. So it doesn't get any easier from here.
We need to get our get back.
Can we lock up on the 3 for, like, one time, please? Just, like, don't help or, like...
Don't help.
I don't know.
Don't help.
Well, also, I mean, Wemby, both those games killed the Kings.
Yeah.
From 3. He's pulling up from the logo.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they'll do in San Antonio if if they decide to do anything different. But yeah, I mean the Grizzlies are also a really good team, starting the year off hot.
Yeah.
So definitely, if after this Rockets win, if we can go into Memphis and get them on their home court, and then maybe that'll spark something to where, hey, you know what, San Antonio's bullied us 2 games in a row. Let's get them, and that way. If they win, it's like, all right, let's at least tie the season series.
Yeah.
And then I think the Grizzlies are 7-3 in their last 10. Yeah. Like they're getting hot at the right time for sure.
And before last game, we were 1-6 in our last 7. So we need to turn the tides right now. But in that Spurs game, it was the first time Malik Monk has ever started as a Sacramento King. He played in 163 games before that as a Sacramento King and did not start once before that San Antonio Spurs game. Isn't that crazy? He didn't start one time.
That is a crazy time.
It's because last year they were going for Malik to win that 6th Man of the Year, and even when Herter got hurt, then they threw Keon in there, and it ended up kind of working. But
true 6 man.
Yeah. But let's jump on to the next 2 games. It was Friday, the NBA Cup, another ugly loss to the Portland Trailblazers in Portland, 115-106. De'Aaron had 22, 5 and 5. Keegan was the story in this game for me. He only had 3 points. 1 of 9 from the field. Sabonis triple-double. Malik 29 and 9. Malik and Sabonis were the only 2 bringing us back in the 4th, but it was just too little, too late.
Too late.
Yeah.
That was not a good game. I was not happy that night.
I was disgusted.
That was a quiet drive home from work for me.
Yeah. Delano Banton, who was my pick for ICU just a couple weeks ago, absolutely killed us, especially in the first half. He had 17 points overall, but in the first half, he was just making every single shot, pull up mid-range, getting to the rim, hitting from 3, also playing good defense. That's a guy I think the Kings need to target, is Delano Banton. Some underrated guys with some size, some length. They can shoot the ball, play some defense. That's a guy I want the Kings to go get.
I'm pretty sure, 2 of their other starters were out that game.
Oh, yeah, they had a ton of guys out.
Yeah, no, it was not a good game for us to lose. I thought after that Timberwolves win, going into this, I was like, oh, we're going to win by 20.
Yeah.
We're going to blow these guys out.
Yeah.
And then after the second quarter, I knew it was over. I didn't see a comeback. They did start to come back, but we were already down by how much? It was not good. Not good.
Yeah, that's one of those games where you look at the stats and you see only 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in double figures, and it's you just kind of just don't even know what to say, honestly. It's just one of those games. Hopefully, that's the last of one of those games.
We can't lose to teams that are rebuilding right now. We're at a point in our system where we need to be dominating these teams that are down at the bottom.
Exactly.
That's a simple thing to say. I'm preaching to the.
But it's getting to panic time in Sacramento. We need to win every game we can. I don't care who it's against.
Yeah.
But that was the horrible loss after that Timberwolves game, which I thought was the biggest win of the year so far. Playing in Minnesota, Jay Crowder's first game. That was a week ago today. So we had our last episode on the day that Jay Crowder played his first game. He had 8 points in the starting lineup. No, you called it. I got to give you credit because you really called it. You said that I could see Jay Crowder starting, and me and Alec both kind of gave you a look like, whoa, already? I even said, if they start Jay Crowder, that could be disrespectful to some guys that have been working hard. But I think Mike Brown had to make a statement.
And then Jay Crowder also brought that. He brought that energy, everything. He was talking crap to everybody.
Julius Randle,
He got in their head, and then he also got in the fans' heads. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, he had a buzzer beater to end the first quarter, so that was big for him to see one shot go in. He had as many points as Keegan did, both had 8.
First game back. Yeah. So, great energy from Crowder. And, honestly, I was extremely surprised to see him in the starting lineup. But, at the end of the day, they're all professionals. And, honestly, all it takes is just extra time to build chemistry.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, he's been in the league for so long. I'm, honestly, after seeing it, it's like, okay, it's not a bad start, especially, like you said, they just need some type of spark.
Exactly.
And, he only ended up playing, 27 minutes, but I mean, it was good.
We needed that size. We needed his size for
Good
that game.
27 minutes.
Julius would have, I'm pretty sure he had a good game, but it's not like a game that he's had against us in the past.
Yeah.
Both the games in the past, he scored 30 on us.
Lit us up. Both
so,
those games.
the fact that he held him to 21 pretty much, he was on him the whole game. And Randall hit some nice shots. He kept them going.
Yeah.
He helped them come back in the third and take the lead. But at the end of the day, Crowder got the best of him. I feel like he was not the main reason why we won, but he brought that kind of just like hyping up everybody. He was perfect for that team.
Also, this was really the first game that Isaac Jones got a lot of minutes, earning a lot more trust from Mike Brown. He had 8 points, 5 rebounds, just great energy out there. Malik also had 27, 8, and 9. So Malik has been killing since coming back from his injury, and that's been huge for us.
Isaac Jones and Domas babied Rudy that game.
Yeah.
Like down low, it was, and Isaac was grabbing rebounds over Rudy, putting it back.
He's a center.
Isaac
Jones is.
He's a pure
I thought he was
center.
more of a 3 or a 4.
No,
he's a
pure
5
center. He's got so much weight on him.
Yeah.
You look at him and he's just like, oh, he's kind of small, but he's got some weight on him. He could back down.
Really strong.
And then Domas was putting it in Rudy's chest all night.
Love it.
Pushing it back. Rudy was being a baby, as he usually is. But no, that was a great game down low for us. But they didn't come back hot.
Yeah,
They
the
did not come
Kings
back.
were down 12 with 7 minutes left in the fourth, and then Malik and De'Aaron really took over. De'Aaron Fox at this time was leading the league in clutch time scoring by a wide margin. So shout out to De'Aaron, still being clutch, as we know. But yeah, we will be back in about 3 minutes on 96.5 FM, Beam City Sports.
Like, share, comment, subscribe, all the things. Little red button down at the bottom right corner of your screen, YouTube, all of it.
Smack that. We are back on Beam City Sports, 96.5 FM. Tyler Texeira, Luke Mitchell, Alec Dennett on Beam City Sports. Let's jump into the second half of the show. Got a lot to get into, and we're starting out hot with ICU. Which one of you wants to start?
I'll go ahead and go first.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and rock with a team who's been really hot the past, since their bad start, I should say. They started 2-8. They're now 11-9. My ICU is on the Milwaukee Bucks. It is AJ Green.
Okay.
So the last couple games, he just had 11 last night. He also had 9 points, and 13 off the bench. Third year in the league, starting to get a lot more playing time this year just because of his role on the Bucks team. And honestly, it's a role that you barely see in the NBA these days. You kind of see it a lot more in college, where he's literally just a 3-point shooter.
That's all he shoots.
Literally all he shoots, just strict threes.
That's all you need. It's like a Klay Thompson type thing.
But he shoots way more. So 92% of the shots that he takes are from the 3.
92%?
I knew it was high,
Yeah.
but 92%
So,
is
literally
out of this world.
What does he shoot?
He shoots 48% from 3.
Damn.
And so,
48%?
strict shooter. He's really he's one of the best shooters in the league right now. And for Giannis and Dame, because they've been doing really well the past games lately.
7 in a row for the Bucks.
Exactly. And so
You called that.
Yeah.
for them, a guy like him, especially for Giannis, because Giannis always drives and he draws so much
Need them
attention.
shooters. Need
Exactly. So for him to kick out, and AJ's just always going to be at the 3-point line. He's just going to catch and shoot. And, that's really what he does. And a lot of people kind of compared him to Duncan Robinson at one point, because Duncan Robinson was, that was kind of who he was. Just
Super similar.
Only threes. But Duncan kind of figured out a way to, get mid-range and layups. But, AJ Green is kind of a different level where he literally only shoots threes. But, he's shooting 48%.
48% is a crazy mark from 3, and that's all you're shooting. He was on my list of ICUs a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I love his game.
Yeah.
He's just a straight shooter, like you said. He's got a funky jump shot,
Yeah,
though.
he
It's
does.
really high release. And
That's what I was going to say. Like, he's got one of them, like, a little bit of, like, unorthodox shots like, in the league. But
he
hits it. That's all you need.
Yeah, he's nice, for sure.
Yeah.
I love that pick.
Yeah.
Who you going with?
Call me repetitive, but I'm staying down in Orlando. I'm going with Goga Bitadze.
Hey.
I'm a big defense fan. I love intense defense. This guy, so he averages 8 points a game, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, but he's nearly averaging 3 blocks a game and then almost 2 steals a game, which, that's quietly doing that.
As a center.
As a center. And then he's also, I mean, this is what you want from your center. He's shooting 70% truly. Like with all shots, he's 70% shooter, which, I mean, that's unheard of really right now in this league.
Great production from your center.
And if he can get more shots up, he's going to make a whole lot more, score a whole lot more. I think he's going to get more touches with Paolo coming back soon, just because, I mean, he doesn't have whole lot of minutes right now. But when he gets those minutes, having this defense down there and then having that shooting percentage, I think he's going to help the Magic potentially get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
If not the finals.
I love that pick. Big fan of Goga.
Yeah, no, he's a super young. He just came out of college like a few years ago.
Is he coming off the bench or is he start?
It's back and
It's
forth.
back
Some
and forth.
games.
Yeah, the rotation.
him
I think
Mo?
Mo's usually off the bench though, and he usually gives you 18 and 12 off the
Exactly.
bench.
He's
and then
a bit more of the scorer because
Yeah.
he can also shoot. Mo can shoot a bit more.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah. But so in the last 2 games, he has 9 blocks and 7 steals.
Dang.
Which, I mean, and then he's averaging 10 rebounds a game in the last 3 games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love having a center like this who purely is out there to disrupt shots and just make that happen.
Like you said, I mean, he's, they have Mo coming off the bench for kind of to do more of the scoring on that role. But, yeah, I mean, obviously, every team kind of wants a shot blocker.
Yep.
And so for him to be that paint presence, especially where, guys like Franz is, probably guarding, some of your better players.
Yep.
And, without Banchero, because, I mean, he's not usually guarding a center. He's more like the forward. But still to have someone to where, if someone's driving and, he's there to help you and, block all these shots, grab all the rebounds, it's definitely what you need with a team like the Magic.
Yep. No, I saw a stat. It was like 44% of the shots that when he's on the court are being disrupted by him, like if they're going around him. So, I mean, if he's stopping that much, he's going to win. He's going to get you wins.
Yeah.
He's going to come up with
It's
clutch
a
blocks.
solid pick. The Magic have so many good role players, and he's one of the ones that have really stood out to me, especially this year.
Yeah.
But moving on to my pick for ICU this week is someone who is on a 2-way contract still right now, also played college basketball for Rhode Island and then transferred to UConn. It is Tyrese Martin from the Brooklyn Nets. Just last week, he played in his first or second game in his career this year, and he had 30 points against the Phoenix Suns, 8 for 10 from 3, 10 of 13 from the field, and that has earned him a ton of minutes coming off that game. Before that game, I did not know who Tyrese Martin was, realistically, but he has been lighting it up from 3, and Brooklyn is a team that, gives guys chances like that. Jordi Fernandez really trusts someone if they can hit shots and play some hard defense. And he's got a smooth jumper, too, as well. The game after that, he played 24 minutes, had 8 points, 2 of 4 from 3. And then last game, he had 15 points. So coming out of nowhere like that on a 2-way contract, still providing this many, the 3-point shooting for Brooklyn has been huge. So shout out to Tyrese Martin. I think he's going to get a real contract.
With a team like Brooklyn, then you can find so many players like that are just like trying to emerge and find their role in the NBA. Just because, I mean, Jordy's probably using the whole bench when he can. So, I mean, I feel like we're going to have a lot more ICUs from Brooklyn throughout the season, like if they keep going like this.
And, for Brooklyn as well, I mean, with how young of a team they have, kind of a mixed roster where, a lot of these guys probably don't even have good chemistry just because, he's just playing, anyone.
Yep.
For them to, still be even in play in right now, obviously it's still way early, but, 9 wins on the year, and honestly, they don't look that bad. And, for guys like Tyrese Martin to come in there and, show what he's capable of, whether he stays on that team or not, someone's watching.
Yeah, he's going to get a contract after that. Every team wants shooting.
Exactly.
And even like the Kings, if he gets released and we need some shooting and, Herter's not hitting, pick him up. He went 8 for 10 from 3.
There we go.
Got to be a shooter to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to the next part. It is the NBA Cup. The top 8 teams are officially set for both conferences. We got the Thunder going against the Mavericks on December 10th, and then the Rockets going against the Warriors on the 11th, so that's next Tuesday and Wednesday. And then in the East, we have the Milwaukee Bucks going against the Orlando Magic, and then the New York Knicks going against the Atlanta Hawks. So the surprise team here is really the Atlanta Hawks. They've had a weird up and down year. They've beaten good teams, lost to the Wizards twice.
They came up with some big wins in the tournament.
Huge wins.
That's but then they beat the Celtics twice too.
Exactly, and they beat the Cavs.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the Hawks are like a very weird team, and Trae Young can really, this tournament could be huge for Trae Young. Like last year, we saw how big the tournament was for Tyrese Halliburton. After that in-season tournament run where they made it to the finals and he was going off leading that team, he got a lot more respect on his name and people viewed him as a top point guard in the league. And I think Trae Young, he went to the conference finals early in his career, and since then he's really been hated on a lot. He hasn't been scoring the ball as much as he usually does, but you mentioned it last episode, his assists are at a new level.
Yeah.
He's accounted for like every bucket for the Hawks. He's accounted for like 60% of the touches, something like that. Yeah. Just all the assists and scoring he puts up right now. Like they don't have a lot in Atlanta.
Yeah.
They don't really have like anything besides Jalen Johnson's going off. But
what Trae Young is doing for that team is definitely something you want to see out of a guy like Trae Young. Smaller guard, and honestly, we've seen his playmaking ability, especially early in his career, since he came out of college.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's been capable of. But, more of us when he got into the NBA was kind of in awe of his scoring abilities. And, he would kind of shoot a lot of deep threes like Steph. And, he had a float game too just because he's a smaller guard. But, yeah, so for him to be able to, move the ball around and get all of his teammates involved, I think that's huge just because, a team like Atlanta where, again, they got a lot of guys that are, kind of younger and, looking to grow.
Yeah.
And then for them to be, 6th seed right now, they're 500. So, I mean, Trae Young can definitely maybe surprise a lot of people, especially like you're mentioning with this tournament.
Yeah.
Just, maybe get a little bit more spotlight on his group.
Exactly. So let's pick though. Who we got winning? The Thunder playing against the Mavericks. I'm rolling with the Mavericks.
Should we roll with the first West? We'll run who do we think will go to the finals, and then we'll go to the East.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Thunder, Mavericks. I'm rolling with the Mavs.
I'm rolling with the Mavs.
There's
the
no
West.
Chet for the Thunder still, but they are still a very, very good team.
Yeah.
I think Luka is going to take it personal, though, and he's going to prove that he's better than Shea still, and he's going to win this game.
I'll take the Thunder.
Thunder, yeah.
Thunder.
So you're going Mavs?
I'm going Mavs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Staying in the West, we got the Rockets, who the Kings just beat last night, and they're going against the Golden State Warriors, who were my pick to win the whole thing, so I'm staying with the Warriors. Who you guys got?
Well, I did agree with you earlier saying that the Warriors they might take it, but I think I'm gonna go with Houston on this one. Even last night in that loss, I
might roll with Houston.
They do look really good, and I don't know, like Dylan Brooks might have had just foul trouble, and then he got in it with De'Aaron, so it kind of threw him off. But if he's able to do something like that, but maybe at a more efficient rate to disrupt Steph, and Steph hasn't been playing that great.
Yeah, he hasn't been
He's been
dropping
struggling
30
a
like
little bit. Buddy kind of fell off recently.
Yeah.
Draymond's been hurt the past few games.
So I don't know. I mean, the Warriors team, don't get me wrong, they're still good.
The Warriors have lost 5 in a row, though.
They've been struggling.
They dropped.
Yeah, that's big.
So this is a time where we could see them getting hot again because the game isn't until the 11th.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about Steph Curry is if you're nationally televised and people are watching,
he's gonna go off.
Yeah, he'll do something.
Yeah. I still think the Rockets might take that one.
I agree.
It's going to be a good game.
Yeah,
I'll take the Rockets.
Guarantee it's going to be a good game.
I guarantee that the Warriors are going to win this game. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed?
Guaranteed. Steph is not losing to a young team like the Rockets.
We'll look back at it.
Okay, Charles Barkley.
Put some respect on his name. I'm guaranteeing it. But okay, so then in the next West round, I picked the Mavericks going against the Warriors. Obviously rolling with Steph and the Warriors. Who you guys picking in the next round?
I'm sticking with the Mavs.
So
I think Mavs are going to the finals.
Yeah, Mavs beating the Rockets for you. You have the Thunder.
I have Thunder, Houston. I'll probably go OKC with it. I don't know. OKC, I mean, they've just looked incredible even without Chet. I mean, Jalen Williams, SGA, and then, all the group that he has with them. Isaiah Joe shooting, Lou Dort doing what he's capable of. I mean, that team, I mean, they proved it last year, that they were the real deal, even though they didn't win a playoff series.
Yeah. It was their first time really getting there. They needed to get their feet wet.
And then Hartenstein has been huge for them.
So good. He's
I do think they might take the West.
Yeah, and they also have a lot of young guys who want that extra bonus money, which is a big part in this. So I could see the Thunder, trying to get that championship, but I'm not a believer.
Yeah.
So going out east though, or Luke. So who do you have going to the finals? You have the Mavericks.
I have the Mavericks in the West.
Okay, yes. I have the Warriors, and you have the Thunder. So we're all different. The East, the Bucks going against the Magic. Oh, this is a tough one.
It's going to be a tough one.
I know who you're picking.
I am picking the Magic. I know it's going to be a tough game, though, with how hot the Bucks are getting right now.
Yeah.
How hot Giannis is staying. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Paolo might be back by this time. It said his timetable return was end of November to Christmas, so kind of in that time.
Could be any time, yeah.
He said he's feeling good though. He said I'm pretty sure he's back on court activities with the team for practice. But if Powell can come back and play with this hot Magic team, I think that it's better than the Bucks right now.
Yeah.
I think they'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Milwaukee.
So I'm the deal breaker. I will roll with Milwaukee as well. I have to do it, because they've looked so good. And I said that the cup was going to...
Why are you talking about a deal break? What do you mean?
Well, because you picked the Magic, you picked the Bucks.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. I'm picking the Bucks just because I said that the cup would turn their season around, and it really has.
You did say that. You said that before the cup even started.
Yeah.
You said the cup would turn around.
Yeah. And then, so the last thing out east, the Knicks going against the Hawks.
Knicks are going to handle that game, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, the Hawks are playing good. They played good the whole end season tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Knicks are a better, well-rounded team, especially with the big men. Like, I don't know. I feel like Cat is probably going to handle them.
He's playing very well.
He's playing
year.
really, except the rim protection. His rim protection he needs to step up a bit. But I don't know. Jalen's also catching hot. He had a little shaky start, but he's getting better now. I think he just dropped a bunch last night against Orlando.
Yeah, everyone did.
Everybody did. Yeah, they blew him out.
Yeah. This game honestly might be a pretty interesting game because Trey's usually like a killer in New York. He's always been that villain in New York. However, I am gonna go with the Knicks. I think on paper they're a better team, and they've proven to play really well so far in the year, and I think they'll continue that.
You're definitely right. On paper, they're by far a better team, but this is the college atmosphere. One game, winner go home.
Yep.
I'm going with Trae Young in New York.
Wow.
Staying strong on it. Trae Young's one of my favorite players in the NBA, and like you mentioned, that really is the turning point for me is that they're playing in New York. If they're playing in Atlanta, I might pick the Knicks. But since Trae Young owns New York and still owns that fan base out there, they still, talk about Trae Young even when it's a random concert in Madison Square Garden, they'll be chanting like F Trae Young.
Yeah.
So like that just shows that he is living rent free in their head.
He does. Yeah.
And
so. I do think it's a new New York team though.
Definitely.
Even though they did, I mean, Atlanta already beat them once this year.
Yeah.
But I think it's a new New York team, and I feel like the Knicks are going to handle them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going with the Hawks and the Bucks. So then picking who's going to win between that, I'll go Bucks making it to the championship. So I'm going the Warriors versus the Bucks in the finals. Warriors winning it all. So pick who you guys think.
Man,
So,
I got the Magic and the Mavs. 4 seeds. I got the 4 seeds.
I like it.
Oh man,
A lot of blue.
I'm gonna have to roll with the Mavs.
Yeah.
The Mavs are. I mean, I'm pretty sure I said last week or the week before I said I want Orlando to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
But the Mavs, I feel like, are gonna win that one. Luke is gonna turn up. Luke is gonna win that $500K for all of his young people on his team.
Sure.
So I have the Knicks and Milwaukee. That one would be a great game if that happens. That would be tough, but I do think Giannis will take that one. And then for me, I have Milwaukee and OKC, which that would also be a great matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And crazy enough,
No.
I think Milwaukee's gonna.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say the Thunder.
Nah, Giannis is just playing extremely well right now. He's really looked like MVP level, and Dame has been killing it too. And everyone has been hating on Darvin Ham because with the Lakers he wasn't doing anything, but slowly enough he's getting the guys.
Well, he's the assistant coach, right?
I think
and
he's the
Doc
head
Rivers.
coach. I think Doc is the assistant.
Oh,
But
I thought it was the other way around.
It could be vice
Doc
versa.
is the head coach.
Yeah, Doc is the head coach, and then
but,
Darvin.
Yeah, what's crazy is that the Doc Rivers was interviewed 10 games ago, and he said that he told the Bucks front office that he's going to start taking coaching more seriously, and that is a real quote.
Why?
And,
What?
And then since then the Bucks are 9-1, so he wasn't lying.
What was he doing?
But what was he doing
He was
before
probably
that?
letting Darvin Ham coach.
I guess.
What?
No, I don't.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's
crazy,
like
though.
Hey
I
guys,
said,
I gotta start doing my job now.
I hope I didn't get pranked by NBA Centel because I did see that multiple times that was a real quote. But you never know.
Hey Alec,
Saying
hey
anything.
Tyler.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start taking this show a little bit more serious.
Yeah, let's take it more
either
seriously.
way, I think I mentioned it. Doc Rivers has always been a great coach, and I mean he's always been in the playoffs. He's just never been able to get over the hump ever since he's been
Boston.
ever since he's been with Boston. But I
And
mean,
he's blown a ton of 3-1 leads.
yeah,
A lot.
and
like most ever.
A lot.
maybe this is the year. He's got Giannis and Dame, who hasn't won a ring.
Yeah.
And Giannis has. So maybe Giannis is like, hey, you know what, Dame? Let me get you right before it's too late.
I don't see the Bucks winning this year. No.
I mean, if they keep it up and they start to get up there with the Celtics and Cleveland, then
I just don't see them lasting in the playoffs at all.
Well,
Dame goes cold.
Let's Dame might go cold.
So let's actually buy some stock.
Yeah, let's
in
buy
these
some
teams.
stock then. Let's buy some stock. Put some money where your mouth is. So I'm starting off. I'm gonna put $40 into the Boston Celtics. They're by far my favorite to win, but I'm not going above 50. I'm saving my other $60. So the point of this is we all have $100 throughout each of us, and we're putting money into each NBA contender and, putting more on who we think has a more realistic chance of winning. So I'm going to put $40 on the Boston Celtics.
Okay.
I'm a man of roulette here, so I got some money placed all over the table.
Okay.
For the East Coast, I got 25 on the Celtics.
Okay.
I got $25 on them.
Yeah.
Because I like upsets, I like underdogs, and I feel like that might happen this year in the playoffs. It's been a wild start to the NBA, unexpected things every week. So I think there's going to be unexpected things all the way into the playoffs.
I think I'll also split my money wisely here, and we've been talking about the Knicks. I do like the Knicks a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and put $25 on the Knicks.
On the Knicks?
On the Knicks.
On the
Whoa.
Knicks. I mean, Brunson with Cat is honestly a unexpected duo. On top of that, you have Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, and OG Anunoby, who's just been killing it as well.
He has been turning up
Miles
lately.
McBride as well.
Yeah.
Those
Off
are their
the
6
bench,
guys, though.
yeah.
Can't say anyone else outside of those 6. And
Yeah.
Those are the only 6 that are going to play. So.
But hey, I mean, one thing about Tom Thibodeau is he literally does not care. He'll play those 6 guys, and like Mikal Bridges has played like 38 minutes or 40 minutes, whatever, or Josh Hart, whoever it is.
Yeah.
He plays those guys. But I mean, you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
They're
That is
winning
true.
games, so I'm gonna put my stock on the Knicks.
Okay. All right.
Okay, well, then I'm going out west with mine. I'm going to put $20 on the Golden State Warriors. So that's my favorite out west for me is the Golden State Warriors. I have to roll with them. Steph, in that GOAT conversation, let's get it.
Kind of figured that was coming from
Let's
you.
get another ring. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's the time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a fan of your passion. I'm
Yeah.
a fan of your staying behind them, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to last this season. They got a great. I got to respect it. They're
It's
having
going to be tough.
They're having a great start to the year.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like their weaker side is showing right now.
A
and
trade is going to happen before the
definitely.
trade deadline. For
I
them,
know they're
so,
targeting a few people.
Yeah.
Out west, I'm going to put 25 on the Mavs.
Okay.
I'm going 50-50 with those. I feel like the Mavs will probably be in the finals this year.
Again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luka's playing I look at him and I compare him to like Shohei of the MLB.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those players where it's just like
Good comparison.
he can do anything. And so yeah, I'm putting 25 on the Mavs.
I'm gonna stay in the East and put my other $25 on the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
We just talked about it. If not Lillard, if Giannis is able to play how he's been playing so far and keep up the MVP level, like I mentioned, if they can get up to a 1, 2, 3 seed, I honestly don't even see why he wouldn't be MVP.
Yeah.
I mean, Jokic has looked like the best player in the league right now, but Giannis is up there along with SGA. And, if he's able to bring that team who looked so bad to start up there, then, I think he'll get another MVP. And so I'm going to put, another 25 of my money on the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
All right.
So I've spent 40 on the Celtics, 20 on the Warriors. I'm going to throw 10 in Cleveland for the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are 19-3 right now. Just an insane start to the season for them.
Insane.
Nobody thought they would be this good, and I'm buying in. I think $10 is a good place to put them. So Cleveland, $10.
All right. I would put them up a little bit higher. It's also another team that I don't see lasting in the playoffs. Most of them have been deep in the playoffs. Like Jared Allen last year said the lights were too bright. That's why he couldn't come up clutch. But I'm going to put $15 on a Magic.
Oh, I like it.
I can't not invest in them after all this hype I put in. So I'm going to put 15 in there. I think they're going to stay. No, I know they're going to stay at a top 3 seed for the whole season.
Top 3.
They're going to be a top 3 seed at the end of the season for sure.
Okay, I like it.
Quote me on that.
I like it.
Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and put $20 on the Houston Rockets.
Wow, Houston.
Last year they were fighting with the Warriors to be a play-in team, and this year, it really shows that, for one, they're all bought in with, Ime Udoka. And on top of that, they do have a really great young squad. And, they've had a hot start so far. The question is, can they keep it? The West is insanely tough. And, I do think they can be not just a play-in team, but a play-off team.
Yeah.
And maybe even get a home game to start in the playoffs.
What it's looking right now, definitely. Yeah.
I do like that. I mean, I'm buying into this Houston. I mean, I'm not going to here on my list, but in the future, I do really like this Houston team. I haven't liked Houston in the past because, I mean, when James Harden was on there, I was just like, that was right after the Thunder.
Yeah.
But no, this young Rockets team that I felt like was going to kind of handle us late in the game last night, but we turned up. I think they're going to be a really good team for years to come.
Yeah, Jalen Green, shout out to Fresno.
Yeah.
He played very well last night. Had a ton of family in the building in Sac, so love how he's been playing this year. But I have $30 left to invest, and I'm throwing 10 in OKC for the Thunder. They are just such a good team, and they just outpace everyone. That's how they win games. They outpace them. They're so young. They're all like in their primes or younger than their primes, and they're just faster to the ball than everyone. They shoot a lot of threes and make threes, even though, their best player, Shea, isn't known as a three-point guy.
Yep.
Everyone else can space the floor.
They can space the floor. They handled us without a center.
Yeah.
Their biggest guy at 6'6", and he was taking care of Domas.
Yeah.
So I'm going to piggyback on that. I'm putting 15 down with the Thunder as well.
Yeah.
So that'll bring me down to $20.
Okay.
So
I'm putting 15 out
I have
there.
20 left. As well.
I have 20 left, and I'm just going to go split it 10 and 10, and I'm going to put $10 on Memphis, and then I'm also going to put another $10 on the Spurs.
Spurs.
Damn,
So
you're
already?
reaching deep.
Yeah.
Already?
So
Oh.
Memphis, without Ja, they've been hurt so much. They've, asked a lot from their young guys, and they've provided for them. And, I think with Ja, and if everyone stays healthy, they might be the Grizzlies that we saw against, the Warriors back when that was considered a rivalry.
Yeah.
So you're
that's
comparing
true.
the young Grizzlies to the young Spurs.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I
Well,
do
I
like
like
that
that.
comparison, but I don't know. That's a deep reach for putting money in contenders.
Yeah,
right
the
there.
reason I'm putting up my money on the Spurs is just because I think, CP and HB have been great veterans for guys like Wemby and even Stephon Castle. And, like Vassell and Keldon Johnson have proven that, they're great players for the Spurs.
Yeah.
Popovich has been a great mentor and leader for those guys. And, on top of that, Wemby's just absolutely insane. And, last year they were still pretty bad. And so I think this year they'll be a play-in team.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
All right.
So I have $20 left. I'm throwing 10 at the Milwaukee Bucks, and then I'll throw 10 in Orlando Magic.
Hell yeah.
I think they are such a good, fun team. They're just one piece
Put some
away.
respect on
One piece away.
One piece away.
If they get a guy in the future, like if LaMelo Ball asks out of Charlotte, that's a
Dude,
real contender.
Orlando
right there.
trade Jalen Suggs and maybe one other person
Anthony
for
Black and a
LaMelo.
bunch of picks. Whew,
I'm down with that.
that would be a
I'm
fun
down
team.
with that for
So
sure.
That's my stocks. I'm throwing it.
For me, I got 4 teams down at the bottom. I'm gonna split 10 between the Nuggets and the Grizzlies in the West. I think both of those teams are gonna be sneaking in and potentially doing some damage to some of these bigger teams. And then in the East, I got 5 on the Cavs and 5 on the Knicks.
Okay.
Because both of those teams, I mean, right now they're proving why they're a good team, why they're, sticking together. People are thinking that the Cavs were going to trade some players away, but I don't think they're getting rid of any of these players anytime soon.
Yeah.
And Donovan Mitchell has been just insane.
Almost MVP caliber.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that Donovan Mitchell will be a top 5 MVP candidate this year.
Yeah, his stats haven't had to be too crazy either. They just have so many guys, but he is truly the best player and the leader on that team.
Definitely.
Hits clutch shots when it matters. But
Yeah.
another great week on Beam City Sports.
Amazing
This is
week.
23 weeks in a row. We've been live on air. Shout out to Alec for joining the
Call
team.
it MJ's episode.
Yes, sir. MJ episode. We'll be back next week. Tyler Texeira, Luke Mitchell, Alec Dennett.
Thank you. Cheers.